All right. The less you care, the more powerful you become is the theme for today. The less you care, the more powerful you become. As you are coming in, please make sure to like the video. Let me know if you can hear me. That's always very helpful. And I've got a couple questions for you to get us started. The first question is, do you want to stop caring so much so that you can manifest more positive outcomes? The next question that I have is it hard for you sometimes to not get upset when things don't go your way? The next question I have is, would you like to be a more relaxed and go with the flow person who easily attracts the life that they want to live? And then finally, would you like to become literally the most powerful person that you know? Well, if you would like the answers to any of these questions, go ahead and stay tuned today. Go ahead and grab something to write with, because we're going to talk about why the less you care, the more powerful you become, why this dynamic works, and how to harness it in your life. That is the theme for today. Real quick, we got a couple of supers here to say hi and thank you for. Happy Daisy, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Also to Lori. Lori, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Yes, guys, if you have questions about manifesting, of course, feel free to go ahead and drop those into the chat, because I'll be stopping to answer your questions periodically throughout the live. And I can see here, Vibration Elevation Sound says that the sound is great. Lady Dracula can hear me. Very good. Thank you for letting me know that the sound is working. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Again, today we're talking about the less you care, the more powerful you become. So there's some reasons why this is the case. A lot of times people think that caring is an important thing and that caring is helpful and that you need to care. But the more you can get it in your mind that caring is actually a waste of your time, okay? The easier of a time you're going to have manifesting, and the more powerful you're going to become, and the bigger benefit you're going to have on yourself and the people that you care about. All right, so there's a few reasons why. And so the first reason why is that when you don't care, when you are not hung up on outcomes, when you are unbothered, when you don't need things to work out or need things to go your way, you really cannot be swayed to the negative. Okay? Let me repeat that. When you don't care, you cannot be swayed to the negative. When you have a dog in the fight, when you are concerned, when you are worried, well, if something happens that makes it look like it's not going to work out for you, now you're going to pick up the stick and you're going to fight. Okay? But if you don't care, you're not even going to bother. And so to explain this a little bit more deeply, what I really think about with this one in my own life is my relationship with teenagers. This is a really good one, okay? So a lot of you guys know that I used to be a high school teacher. So I taught thousands of teenagers, all right? So I've dealt with teenagers. I know how they roll. I know how they act, okay? And today, my children are actually teenagers now. So I have a 14-year-old and I have a 16-year-old. And it's a very interesting dynamic that I see with other parents who have teenagers, because a lot of times, more often than not, parents do struggle with teenagers. Okay, they struggle with them. They can get frustrated with teenagers because teenagers have this tendency to be a little bit more dramatic, melodramatic. Sometimes they can be moody. Sometimes they can be rude. Sometimes they can roll their eyes at you. There's many reasons for this, okay? All right. And parents don't like that. They care. They care that their child is, polite. They care that their child behaves properly. They care that their child treats them with respect. Okay. Me, I don't care. Now, I don't care because I've seen it all 1,000 times, right? I've had so many kids roll their eyes at me and say snarky things like it just brushes off me like no problem whatsoever. And if any of you have taught high school or middle school for an extended period of time, you probably have kind of the same attitude. You're just kind of unfazed about it. And so with my kids, when they have an attitude, I don't push against it. They can't make me go negative because I don't care. They could be as negative as they wanted to be, but I'm not going to go there. And so even when my kids are acting very teenager-ish or they have an attitude, I'm unbothered. I can't go negative. And as a result, I don't end up in fights with my children. I don't have issues with them acting crazy. They get good grades. They largely behave. We get along great. Why? Because they can't make me go negative. My son or daughter can't walk through the door in a bad teenage mood and knock me over because I'm unfazed. And so this is the first reason why the less you care, the more powerful you become. When you don't care, people can't say or do things about that subject to knock you over. You don't care. It's not going to affect you. But if you do care about outcomes, when things don't go your way, you will go negative. And this is something we talk about a lot on this channel, is that what you focus on expands. And so if my kids were to come in acting crazy and that knocks me off and I start feeling negative about it, now my vibration starts to tank and I start to attract terrible outcomes. We're going to get along even less well. There's going to be more problems in my life because I let that situation turn me negative. So remember that. Caring is not a great thing because when you care, you can easily be swayed to go negative. But if you don't care, it's just going to fly right off of you and you can maintain your vibrational state. Okay? So that's the first reason why the less you care, the more powerful you become. And I really want to harp on this point because, again, there's this common belief structure that if you care, that's a good thing, as if caring is somehow going to change things or make things better. And I'm going to argue the point today that caring is actually a complete and utter waste of your time. I want this to really get into your subconscious mind. So if you need to rewatch this several times, please do, because I want you to really understand that you can release the need to try and care about things. Okay? But we got some more stuff to say on this topic, but real quick, let's say hi to a few of you who are on the chat today. Hello, Abundant Queen. Hi, JKO. Hi, Picket Music. Hello, Peace. Hi, Paula. Hi, Idem. Hi, Vibration Elevation Sounds. Island Joy. My lovely assistant, Mary, is here as always. Good morning. Tanya. Lady Dracula. Hello, hello. All right. We got some people over here on Instagram too. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to work Instagram. I really got to do this. My Gift of Gab is here. Hello. Hello, Clin3. Nice to see you. Genta Lover 7. Nice to see you. Hello, everyone. And yes, again, if you guys have questions about manifesting, feel free to go ahead and drop them into the chat. JK Sounds says that the sound quality has been consistently great over the past several lives. Thank you so much. Yeah, we had a little go there. I changed out my microphone. This is old trusty. This one never steers me wrong. I'm going to try the new one again, so watch out. But I've kind of figured out the settings, so I think even if we try the other one, it'll be okay. Jasmine's got a question here. Jasmine says, hi, Andrea. I've been trying to manifest a job for a year with no luck. Even a freelance role that I got, the position has been kept on hold. How do I break out of this rut? Thank you so much. Okay. So what can happen is when you try to manifest something and you have a series of events where it doesn't manifest, it doesn't manifest, it doesn't manifest, what can happen is that you start to lose faith in the process. Okay. And so this is one of the reasons I talk a lot about just asking for things and tossing them out, because when we really start to harp on making things happen, if it's not happening, then we start to practice the energy of this isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening. And it can put you into a holding pattern where it becomes challenging for you to manifest, not because you can't, but because we become focused on this isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening. So one of the easiest things to do is to Pick something different to manifest. Also, just because it gets you off the subject. Also, trying to reconcile the idea that this situation is working out for you rather than this being a bad thing. So, if I ever get into a holding pattern, specifically, maybe not with the job, but a holding pattern, the thing that I'll always remind myself of is okay, this is reminding me the importance of thinking optimistically. This is reminding me that anything can happen. Anything can happen. I've just chosen not to believe this in this moment. I really try to convey that to myself that right now I've just gotten into a rut and I know that. I know that. And I know that I can get out of it. So I'm not going to believe that this is something that has to be. Okay. That's the big thing, is that when we get in a rut, we really start to lose that sense of optimism and we really start to believe that we're limited. You're not limited. So when you're in that kind of cage, reminding yourself, I put myself here. Okay. And this isn't a judgment against you. We all do this, by the way. When it hasn't worked out, we start to believe this isn't happening. This isn't happening. And so we literally manifest it not happening. Okay. So take power over that. I'm manifesting this situation right now the way that it is, okay? And use it as your inspiration to really work on getting into a more optimistic vibration, okay? Thinking more positively, spending more time trying to elevate your vibration. Use like, I'm gonna be better off for this holding pattern because I'm gonna shoot so far up because of it. Okay, thank you for showing up to remind me I needed to tweak a couple of things. I'm really going to use this to move up to the next level. I hope that makes sense. Hope that's helpful. Oh, Mary's got a question. Hi, Mary. Mary, how do you not care about very emotional issues like gut wrenching? It's a great question, Mary. No, I did not ask Mary to ask this question. How do I not care? Well, a lot of it is because of trial and error. All right. So a lot of it is just recognizing that the times that I've cared about things, they've gotten worse. And the times that I've kind of been able to just let it be and let it be what it is, things have gotten better. Okay. That's probably the biggest thing for you guys, is to just observe that. When I'm getting overly emotionally invested in an outcome or things that are very emotional, it always gets worse. Okay. And once you really know that, it's easier to step back and say, okay, if I actually do care, I need to not care. If I actually want to resolve this problem, I need not to care. See, I see it as my responsibility to step out of it because I know if I go there, I'm just going to make it worse. Okay? That's the perspective that I take that makes it a lot easier for me to kind of put things down. Get Mary coming in with the good questions. Thanks, Mary. All right. Stephanie's first time catching me live from the beginning. Thank you for joining, Stephanie. Nice to see you. Ivy, Paulina asked, less care about humans too? Yeah. Yeah. I don't mean you don't love them. Okay. But what I mean is like worrying about their problems, needing them to behave a certain way, needing them to love you, needing them to behave. Yeah, all of that you can just throw in the trash, okay? But you can have love for people, okay? Loving people is perfectly fine because when we project love, we're projecting a higher vibrational state. So this is a distinction. I'm glad you brought up this. This is a distinction that care and love are kind of two different things. We do this a lot in the English language, by the way, is we often have words that mean the opposite of what they actually mean. Or they're commingled into meaning something they don't actually mean. We've changed in many ways the word care to just meaning having a dog in the fight to also meaning love. We've mixed those things together. This is why people have such a hard time letting go of care, is that they believe that care is love. Care means I feel like I got to fix this. If I'm taking care of you, you need my help. If I care about this outcome, I'm worried about this outcome. But you don't need to be in a state of worry or fear to love. Love is different. Okay, so love people, but don't care. Okay, that's the big distinction. I hope that makes sense. I'm glad you asked that. And real quick, guys, you guys know I've always got the business to attend to here. You probably did see at the top of the chat, there is a link. I've been talking about this. I'm going to keep talking about it. So if new people are on, they know that this is coming. I have a new course that I'm working on right now, and it's not ready yet, but it will be ready in April. And I'm building this course because I've been getting lots of questions for people who are dissatisfied with their work life. Okay, either they are frustrated with their current job, maybe they feel unfulfilled, maybe they feel like their job is soul crushing or their career is soul crushing. Maybe they're dealing with toxic coworkers or bosses, or they're feeling like they can't get ahead, or they're just not making enough money. I'm also getting lots of questions from people when it comes to how do you find your passion? How do you find a career that is in alignment with your highest joy? Something that you're good at, something that is fun for you, something that you get excited about, and something you actually make money from doing. So I'm creating a course to address these questions, and the name of this course is going to be The Golden Path. So if you are interested in learning more about that program, make sure to go ahead and sign up for the notifications, okay? Because we will be sending out notifications when that course goes live. And also I'll be sending out a 50% off coupon code for the first week that it launches. So if you'd like that 50% off code and to be alerted when that course goes live, again, you can check out the link. It's in the description of the videos. On Instagram, you can find the link in my bio. I have a link tree where all my things are linked up. All right, so that is the business. But let's move on ahead. All right, so again, today we're talking about the less you care, the more powerful you become. Okay? And again, it's not the less you love, it's the less you care. So we've got to be very intentional about what I'm saying here. I'm not saying don't love people. Love the heck out of people. Stop caring. Okay, that's the big thing. All right, so the first reason why you become more powerful, the less you care, is that you can't be swayed to the negative. If you don't care whether it works out or not going to bother you. And if it doesn't bother you, when things don't appear to be going in a good way, you're not going to go negative. Your vibration isn't going to dip. And this is critical because your vibration is what creates reality. If you care, you're letting things drag you down. And when you get dragged down, you create within your reality more problems and more things that are going to bring you down. So this is the first reason why caring is totally futile. I know you've been taught that it's important to care, but actually it is not, okay? All right, the second reason why the less you care, the more powerful you become, is that when you don't care, you rise above everything, okay? You put yourself above. You put yourself in a more powerful position because you rise above when you don't care. Now, here's the reason why. If you don't care about something, it's not a priority in your life. You have more important things to attend to. It is beneath you, okay? So if we go back to the example about when I was talking about my children, if my kids walk in a cranky teenage mood, I don't care. Like I said, I've seen this 1,000 times. This is so far beneath the things I need to worry about. I'm not worried at all. It's beneath me, okay? This is an important thing to understand because when you put yourself in a position where things are beneath you, you are actually elevating yourself to a higher status. This is like being a king or a queen or a boss or a president or whatever. The person in charge is the one above. They can't be bothered with the issues that are going on at the lower levels, but they have more power. The resources flow more to them. They have more influence over the other people because all of that stuff that everyone else is caring about is beneath them. Okay, so I got a question a while back. I almost hate to bring this up because this can be polarizing, but it's a good example of what we're talking about today. But I got a question, and I've had a few questions like this. from people who have written in because they've been frustrated with Donald Trump and his shenanigans. Okay. All right. A lot of people are frustrated with Donald Trump and his shenanigans. And this is not a judgment on him. I'm not going to weigh a vote on him. All right. But what I'm going to talk about is the perception of getting frustrated when a politician does something you don't like. Okay. If I get upset with what somebody's doing, whether it's Donald Trump or somebody else, what I'm saying energetically is this person is in control of me. This person controls my feelings and my emotions. This person has power to control me and to do things to me I don't like. That's why I'm upset. Okay? So when we get upset, we place the target, the thing that we're upset about, in a higher position than us, meaning it's out of my reach, it's in control of me, and I have no power over it. But when we are indifferent to it and we don't care, that thing has no power over us whatsoever. It really doesn't. And so within that video, when the person was asking the question about Donald Trump, the advice that I gave was largely just to make it a joke. Like, if you just look at it as a joke, like he's a comical character, just here for my amusement. I don't really care what he does. It's kind of funny when he pops off once in a while, but I mean, I don't really care. Whatever he wants to do, whatever. He's not in charge of me, so who cares? If you have that kind of attitude, it doesn't matter what the authority figure is doing. You've raised yourself above them because you don't care. And that's going to be a hard thing to reconcile when we look at political figures, because you may actually literally believe that these people are in charge of you, but they're not. They're not. There are people who are always able to get away with whatever they want. Okay. And I taught teenagers for years and years and years. I promise you this. There are people who get away with murder. Okay. Because they don't let other people control them. And the way that you don't let them control them is by deciding that you don't care. They're not important to you. Okay. So it's an important thing to understand. When you don't care, what you're saying is, this is beneath me, which means that I'm the authority figure. I'm actually the one in charge. I'm actually the power head here. It's another way to step into king or queen energy. You've put yourself on top of the hierarchy. Everything that's beneath you, you're in charge of now, not the other way around. This is why people who don't care are able to move mountains. They're able to get help for no good reason. They're able to have money flow to them for no reason. They don't care. Okay? Very important thing to understand. We got more though. Culinary Canvas on Facebook. Good morning, Andrea. I'm trying to rebuild my page after my other page was stolen. I'm having a hard time doing this. Any tips on how to rebuild this page quickly? Well, that's a great question. That's actually a question I've contemplated before. Not because I've had that situation specifically, but there's been time, maybe you guys remember, there's been some times when some people have been poking around trying to, steal my identity or whatever. Like this kind of stuff. When you're in this world, this kind of stuff pops up. So this is actually something I've contemplated before, although I haven't had the exact circumstance. The way I talk myself out of going negative is what I'm going to give you. Okay. So if I've had situations where there's been a threat to my career or my channel or my page or whatever it is, I know that if I start stressing out, it's just going to get worse. Okay. And I put myself more at risk for things to go bad. Instead, what I would tell myself and what I would recommend that you tell yourself is like, if it all fell apart, I'd have the opportunity to start it all over. And if I started it all over, I could go through and build it from a much higher level than where I started. So the reason why I'm saying this is that if you build something like, for instance, if you build like a website, okay? I built my website a long time ago, okay? It's not the most beautiful website that ever was. But to revamp the whole thing takes a lot of time and effort. But if I had to start it over, I would know exactly what I wanted. I would know exactly where to put everything. If I started something today, it would look 3,000 times better than the one that I have up there. Okay, so I would be looking at this as an opportunity that I am able to make this so much better than the last one. Okay. Because I think what's going on here is like we're upset that we lost it. We're upset that it went away. So we're feeling kind of dejected. And that's the energy that's going into the rebuild process rather than a sense of optimism. Okay. So what I would be doing is saying, okay, maybe they took the page, but you know what? I have all this data and understanding about how to run a page so much better than I did when I started. So if I build this one, it's going to be so much better. Okay. Go into it with that energy. Okay. Good luck. Yeah. And stop clicking those links, guys. When they say they're me, they're not me. I promise you. If I show up in your DMs, it's not me. Oh, we got another super here. Fairy Dragon, hello. Thank you for the super. Oh. Dear Andrea, how can I use not caring and cold calling and selling in person? Love them and not care about the often rude things that they say. Okay. I love this because this ties right back into the last thing I was talking about, that when you don't care, you're in the power position. Okay. I used to do sales, so I get the question. I sell things now, so I get the question. But I used to sell things in person, so I know what you're talking about when you say cold calling. It is, I mean, it's, you got to have, thick skin, right? Okay. But here's the thing, okay? If you don't care, you're in the power position. So I'm going to relate this to kind of how I dealt with sales, and then also today how I deal with comments. Okay, so like if I get negative comments from people on a video or whatever, website, whatever, someone writes something snarky, I'm so far above this nonsense. Seriously, think about it. Fairy Dragon, would you ever talk to people like that? Would you ever go off on someone like that and say something that rude? And no, I'm better than that. I'm so much better than that. I don't have time for this. Like, I'm just, next. Okay. Hang up on them. Next. I mean, literally, move on. They're beneath me. Next. This is why you won't see me arguing with people. If you've ever noticed, sometimes if you go through YouTube and you see negative, I never argue with people. What's the point? It's so far beneath me, I don't care. Now, when you don't care, they can't get to you, which is great. And then you've got a higher confidence now. I'm better than that. Then the next person, you're walking onto that next call of, I am superior to that kind of nonsense. And the other person's got to hear that in your voice. Okay. But if I'm sitting there worried about it, I'm feeling bad about, maybe they're right, I did something wrong. Now I'm lowering my vibration. And then on the next call, I'm coming at it from weak energy. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Sit there and think, how is this person beneath me? I know that sounds really catty, but it works. Because now I don't care about what they said. Okay? Hope that's helpful. And you are tough lady if you are doing cold. That's the other thing. You're tough if you're doing cold calling. You are. Okay? That's not for the weak people. So you're stronger than that. Okay? The person that just barked at you, I mean, they probably do not have what you have. Okay? So look at it that way. Oh, we already answered that one. All right, guys, again, today we're talking about the less you care, the more powerful you become. That is the topic for today. Very important topic. Again, a lot of times, most often, people believe that caring is a virtue. Caring is not a virtue. And I'm glad somebody asked that earlier about caring about people, because it reminded me to clarify. Love people as much as you can and you want to, okay? But do not have a dog in the fight. Do not care about how they behave, what they are doing, if they like you. Don't care, because that stuff is trash. Okay, it's going to weigh down your vibration. It's going to create terrible results in your reality. If you instead have indifference, okay, rather than care, your power is going to elevate. You are going to become an excellent manifester. Nothing is going to be able to phase you, and you're going to be able to get positive results and have lots of influence, okay? So the next reason why this is Okay. When you don't care, you are an optimist. Not caring is wildly optimistic. Okay? And optimism gets results. You guys all know this. Positive thinking gets positive results. You guys know this, okay? Not caring is optimistic. Whether or not you've thought about this before, it is true. Not caring is very optimistic. So let me paint you a scenario, okay? Let's say that I have a flight that I got to get on, okay? And I'm driving to the airport and there's a traffic jam, okay? If I really care about making that flight and getting there on time, what's going to happen? How am I going to think about the traffic? I'm going to be thinking pretty pessimistically. Oh my gosh, this traffic is in the way. Oh my gosh, now I got to hurry more. Oh my, what if there's a line? What if there's a line at the counter? What if I don't get through on time? You will immediately go to a place of pessimism. But if you don't care, you are optimistic. Why? Because underneath not caring is everything's going to be fine for me. Everything always works out anyway. I literally don't care. Even if I miss the flight, I know everything's working out for me. That's the attitude you put out when you don't care. And so instead of fighting the traffic jam, you're putting out a message that says everything's going to be fine regardless. So who cares? Now I'm not attracting negative results. I'm not paranoid and stressed on the road trying to get to the airport, probably attracting more of a traffic jam, more unfriendly people around me, more problems to deal with. Instead, I am cool as a cucumber and things just work out for me. Now I know this to be true. Okay, this airport one, I know this one to be true because this was me to a T. I used to get so stressed out before getting on a plane, to the point where it was like racing through the airport, getting into altercations with people, losing your luggage, all this trash. I don't have those issues anymore. Okay? I don't care. And when I don't care, everything lines up. I had a friend last year, it was about the same time of year. I went to France, she went to Italy. Love this friend. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. When she travels, she does get stressed. Okay? When we both came back from our trips, it was like radically different experiences with the airlines. Okay, so she predictably got stressed out. Her flight got bumped. She ended up in a situation where she landed somewhere in Europe and had to go through some, small town and take a bus. It was a whole thing before she finally got to her hotel. Very stressed out, very terrible experience traveling. Me, no problem. Every flight on time. Bags where they're supposed to be. Arrived to my destination early. Courteous staff. Nice people on the plane. Just easy. Why? I didn't care. Now that's not to say that, those things wouldn't have bothered me or inconvenienced me. Rather, it's that I'm just not going to allow myself to get that frustrated about anything, ever. So maybe if I attract something negative, that's it. I'm not going to attract the next and the next and the next because I don't care. Okay, so this is a very important thing to understand. When you don't care, you are wildly optimistic. I think a lot of people think that people who don't care are evil or are bad or sadistic. No, they're optimistic. They're very optimistic. And if you don't believe me, look around. Okay, the people that you know that are the most positive and good things are happening to them, they are also the most relaxed, don't care people that you know. Okay, so keep that in mind. Not caring is wildly optimistic. Oh, I've got another one. I got to answer this. There's other people asking questions, but I want to answer this one. This might be a silly question. So I shouldn't care when people left me on red? Yeah. 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 So what? Maybe they're busy. Maybe they got things going on. Maybe they're in a bad mood right now. I don't want to talk to them anyway. Like, seriously, think about it that way. If somebody leaves you on red, if it's intentional, what kind of bad attitude does that person have to have right now? Do I really want to be talking to him or her right now? If they've got that kind, no, I don't. Thank you for leaving me on red, because I'd rather not talk to you right now anyway. Bye. I mean, you have to look at it that way. Okay. Just because somebody does A doesn't mean they're going to do B. Just because someone leaves you on red doesn't mean the relationship's over. Doesn't mean they don't like you. Doesn't mean that we read too much into it when we care. Okay? If you don't care, literally what will happen, if you don't care, you just put it down. A couple hours go by, they may text you and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry, I meant to get back to you, blah, blah, blah." And they're going to be nice. That's the way it works. Yes, don't care. Leave me on red whenever y'all want. That's fine. I got things to do. Dominique, Alexia, Andrea, any tips on positively transitioning out of teaching to focus on my business? You know that I have experience on this. Yeah. So there's a few things you can do. I really just jumped. That's what I did. So, and in the course that I was talking about that I'm working on, I really kind of outlined in very big detail why I was able to do that and how I did that. If you've got, okay, here's what I'll say about this. If you're really excited about what you want to go do, you're just going to jump in. Okay. So if your business is, if it feels like you can't just jump in, there's probably not that sense of faith, like this is really it. This is really what I want to be doing. Okay. Because if there's something you really want to be doing, wild horses aren't going to be able to pull you back. Okay. So what I would be trying to do right now is, how much do I love this business? How can I ensure that I love this business as much as humanly possible? That this is really an alignment for me, that this is really something I'm excited about. If you can infuse passion and excitement into the business, you're going to get sucked on over to it. Okay. The other thing that you can try doing is just working on keeping your environment positive as a teacher. Don't go negative there. If you are negative there, try to infuse a more optimistic attitude. What do I like about this place? What is enjoyable about this place? Try and have fun there to keep that environment, work environment, positive. But as you are transitioning with your business, spend more and more time focused on the business and less time focused on the teaching. Okay? So I would be using old lesson plans. I wouldn't be rewriting the wheel over there. I wouldn't be doing things I didn't need to do over there. Instead, I would be slowing down momentum with that and building momentum with the business. That's it if you want to make a seamless transition. I did more of the attract the big idea and get so amped about it that I'm like, screw this job, I'm out of here, and just hopped and went. Okay, so I know that that's a tall order for some people to contemplate. But that does speak to the energy level. If you're going to make a big total shift, if it's that big of an idea, you'll just go for it. Okay, so work on infusing the business with energy and excitement. Oh, here's the investment idea back again. Opulent Beauty 888. Oh, I look beautiful. Thank you so much. Opulent Beauty says, after she gave me a $10 super chat, someone gave her $100 the next day. The law of 10x fold works wonderfully. Yeah. So this is the investment thing. Okay. And I talked about this on one live about how money, if you have the right attitude about it, it always grows. So when you spend with the attitude that there's an investment or that there's a tenfold opportunity, then everything that you spend, whether it's a super chat or you buy a hamburger with French fries, it doesn't matter what it is. When the money goes out, it wasn't an expense. It wasn't a loss. It was a gain. Then that will always happen. So you've got the right idea, Opulent Beauty. Well done. All right, guys. Again, today we're talking about the less you care, the more powerful you become. Okay, lots of reasons why. So the reasons we talked about so far, let's make sure I say them all correctly here. When you don't care, you can't be swayed negative. Okay, when you care, someone can throw you into a tailspin vibrationally at any time. And we don't want that. We want to stay up here with our vibration. Not caring means you can maintain a decent vibration, which is critical to manifesting the things that you want and becoming more powerful. When you don't care, you are above all the pettiness, okay? You are above the outcomes. You are above all this stuff. And when you are above, you are more powerful. Okay, you are more powerful. This is why kings and queens get all the stuff. They are above all the stuff that's going on beneath them. So all the power floats up to them, all the money floats up to them because it's all beneath them. Okay, it's an important thing to understand. Another thing about not caring is that when you don't care, you are wildly optimistic. Think about it. Okay, look, there's some kind of major thing going on and you don't care. That's you saying to the universe, everything's working out for me anyway, so what do I care? That is wildly optimistic by most people's standards. Most people are going to be really freaked out about, am I going to make the plane? How's the surgery going to go? What if there's a breakup, I'm about to get broken up with. Someone who doesn't care is wildly optimistic. And when you are wildly optimistic, you attract wildly powerful results, okay? Now, the next reason why the less you care, the more powerful you are, is that when this is the case, you will be moving in your own rhythm. You will be moving in your own flow. Okay? We talk a lot about staying in the flow and that you really want to be in the flow to get positive results. Being in the flow means that moment to moment, you're doing what works for you. You're doing what you feel like doing, what you're called to do. So you're staying in this place of feeling like you're in inspired action most of the time, okay? When you care, it's very hard to stay on flow. Because again, the second somebody comes up and reminds you about this thing that you want to happen, your vibration goes down, you steer off course, you let them swing you negative. You start responding to problems rather than staying in the flow. But when you don't care, you are literally just meandering through life, doing what works for you, moment to moment to moment, without a care in the world, because literally that's all you have to do. Not caring is critical for being in flow state. It really is. You can see this in athletes, okay? Like the really, really good athletes, you can put them in at the Olympics. You can put them into the Olympics and they look unfazed. You see like these gymnasts that have perfect routines and they just go out there and do it. They don't care, but they're able to do that. They don't care. I'm not saying they don't have an interest in winning, but in that moment, they're able to suspend this feeling like, what if I lose? What if they deduct me? They're not thinking about that. They just go out there and be in the flow. Being in the flow is critical, but in order to be in the flow, you can't be afraid of losing. The minute you start fearing loss, right out of the river, okay? So not caring is very, very instrumental in helping you not only get into flow state, but stay in flow state. You want to care about as little as possible so that you stay in flow state as much as possible so that you're manifesting good results as much as possible. TGIF, how do you not care when you only have a few $100s left in your bank account but no job and your family can't help you either? I have tried, but I can't stop being scared. Okay. I get questions like this pretty frequently. Okay. So it's a good question. And I think, everyone can kind of relate to it on some level. How do you not care when everything looks like it's falling apart or when it looks like you're in a bind? Okay. In a situation like this, we always want to reframe it to how does this work out for me? Okay. Here's one thing I would say. Okay. Sitting in a position like that versus sitting in a position where maybe you have the home and the resources and the money in the bank, you got nothing to lose. Okay? there's a benefit to having nothing to lose. Okay. It is easier to make moves. It's easier to change situations. It's easier to start a totally new trajectory because you don't have things, resources, assets that may be weighing you down and anchoring you in place. Okay, so for those of you who have accumulated a lot of resources, I'm sure you guys understand this. When you have a lot of resources, there are things that you need to do to maintain those resources. Okay, but if you don't have them, you can do whatever you want. So you have a tremendous amount of freedom sitting where you are. That's what I would be diving in at. I have freedom to go wherever I want. I'm not restricted to one location right now. Okay, that's one way of reframing it. Another thing is, and I always talk about this, if we want to get out of the current situation into the next situation, we have to focus on what we have rather than what we have not. Okay? So this is the typical tendency. When we perceive that we have less than other people, we're looking up at the other people and saying, I don't have this, I don't have a car, I don't have thousands in the bank, I don't have a house, I don't, okay? And so what that does is that reinforces the idea that I have lack, and that keeps us in a lackful position. So what you always want to do, I don't care where you guys are in life, what station of life you're in, you want to look at what you have and notice what you have. Okay, so instead of I only have a few $100s, I have several $100s. I have several $100s in the bank rather than I only have, okay? Now, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's not going to seem like a lot when we're focused on what we don't have. So for every single person, you want to be focused on what you have. And even if the financial things aren't there, you still have other things. Do you have your health? You know, do you have friends? Do you have a family? Do you have a place to live? Do you have help in any capacity? What do you have? Okay. When you start to notice, I have, you will attract more to have more. Okay. So that's the easiest solution. I know it may not seem like it would work, but it really, really does. Okay. The more you focus on what you have, the more you will attract to have. Okay. Good luck. I like this question. Kranti, what if the other person thinks this is arrogance? Then I don't care. You get it? Keep not caring. Who cares? Who cares? If I'm doing what's best for me, who cares what he thinks? Who cares what he thinks? Who cares what she thinks? Why would I do something that disadvantages me and everybody in my reality to try and make somebody else think something differently of me? You would be interested to know that when you really get behind this don't care attitude, people may think of it as arrogant, they might, but you will garner so much respect from people. It's not even funny. People will straight up respect you because you're doing what you need to do and you don't care what they think. Okay? That's a much bigger benefit to them than trying to cater to, oh, well, what if they don't like me? What if they think I'm arrogant and conceited? So what? That's their opinion. I don't need to care about that. It's an opinion that's not serving them. So why would I take that on? Okay. So don't care about the outcome and don't care if they think it's arrogance. Just keep not caring. It's Brandon Cortez. My mom used to freak out because I wasn't freaking out about events. Those events always work themselves out. Have you guys ever seen that? I'm glad you brought this up. Have you ever been with somebody who freaks out a lot? And you're like, why are they even? You can see next to them that staying calm actually worked. Yeah, this is another great way of reinforcing the idea that caring is a waste of time. Thank you for sharing. Snow Sparkle says the airline recently lost a bag that had all her stuff in it. You got upset for a minute, filed a claim, let it go to not care, got the bag delivered a few hours later on Christmas Eve. That's it. Because you know what? Not caring, what is it? It's detachment. That's what it is. When you don't care, you're detached from the outcome. So when you detach from the outcome, the situation resolves itself. This reminds me of a lot of people think that you need to solve problems. You will solve a lot more problems just not caring about the problems and ignoring them. You will solve way more problems just by ignoring them than you will by sticking your nose in it and getting upset about it. Snow Sparkle had been calling the airline every 15 seconds and freaking out about it. Wouldn't have happened. Okay? Not caring is powerful, powerful stuff. Thanks for all the nice comments about my arms. You guys are very nice. Thank you. I work out a lot. Oh, okay. I keep hitting the same people, but you guys are asking really great questions. Okay. How do you care, not care, and demand it as you suggested at the same time? Okay. So the demand thing that I was talking about is like a sense of indignance. Okay. So let's say I want to attract money. That's what I want. To get into that demand, indignant vibration, we want to contemplate the idea of why should I have the money? Okay. Why should the money be in my pocket? Well, I'm a good person. I would spend it well. It's going to improve the life of me and my family and other people I care about. I'm going to make smart decisions with sit there and really think about why should I have the money? It will help me accelerate in my advancement, my ability to do better things, to live the life that I want. It should be in my pocket. Notice that when we have this attitude, it's indignant. It's an I'm above this thing. It should be beneath me. It should be beneath me. Okay. Not demand it to crawl into my pocket. I'm not telling money better, hurry up and get over here. What I'm saying is it should be. If it knew what was good for it, it would be over here because it's beneath me and it should be here. Okay. That's kind of the attitude that you have. Now, if the money comes or doesn't come, you have kind of this attitude of detachment that I don't care because I know that I should have it. Meaning I know that I'm worthy of it. Okay. So worthiness and caring are two different things. Caring is about trying to force an outcome, trying to make this job work out, trying to make that friend do what you wanted them to do, trying to make that bonus check show up. It's very focused on individual outcomes. The demand indignation vibration is more of about I'm worthy of everything I want, period. That's non-negotiable. I should have everything that I want, period. That's non-negotiable. When you really feel that way, you actually can detach. Because it's not a question of your worth anymore. It's not something that you need. It's something that you know you should have. It's a way of knowing your power. And again, when you're in a state of power, you care less about what's going on beneath you. I hope that helps make sense of that question. That was a really good question. Marketka. Hi, lovely Andrea. How do you not care what other people think of you? I also know that is people's perception and vibration in the moment of thought realization. Thank you. So kind of what I was talking about before, okay? Here's another way to think. People will think more of me, okay, if I don't care. So what's the point of caring? What's the point of caring? If I care what they think, I'm sinking myself below them. Okay? Now they're in charge of me. So why would I do that to myself? That's what I think. Why would I lower myself to somebody else's opinion? That's the way you have to think about it. You have to love yourself a lot. You have to understand that, the only thing you have control over is yourself and the output of vibration that you're doing. So you want to do the best with that as you can, moment to moment to moment. If somebody wants to come up and say something to me, it may sting a little bit, but it's always an opportunity for me to practice my power. So I actually kind of invite it. And I'm not saying I want y'all to start coming for me in the comments, okay? But what I am saying is if I see it, it's almost like, oh, okay, this is an opportunity for me to practice how powerful I am. Rather than, oh, please don't say that. Don't do that. Then you attract more of them. Okay? The more you practice it and you see that it gives you a lot of power, the more you'll be encouraged to do it. So I'm reminded now about a situation that happened at the gym. Oh, we got the long guys coming. Tell me if you can hear them. This mic's pretty good at buzzing out the noise, but if you can hear them, let me know. They're early today. But anyway, at the gym, I had a situation. So I used to get really stressed out if people would get combative with me or try to edge in on my space, try to get too close to me, okay? And I actually had a situation a few times earlier on where I didn't want to speak up, okay? So someone was getting really close to me when I was working out. I mean, like literally was almost on my yoga mat. And it was really aggressive almost. I could tell that this person was trying to edge me out. At least that's what I felt that they were doing at the time because I cared, okay? That was what was going on. I kind of felt like I was being bullied. And I didn't say anything. And I was trying to avoid the person. And I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to start a fight. And I didn't want to make them think less of me. So it was all this concern and worry about what the other person thought, okay? And as a result, I kept attracting those kinds of situations where almost bully type people would be edging up on me in the gym or trying to push me out of the way or being condescending because I cared, okay? Well, as I've been learning all this material and growing, I've learned that you really can't care anymore. So if I have a situation like that where somebody wants to edge up on me, I just nip it in the bud, like right away. Excuse me, what are you doing here? Move. And now what I noticed is that not caring about what the person's response was just allowed me to just tell the person to move, get out of the way. That person would just, move out of the way. They would never bother me again. Now I don't really have that problem. I don't worry about that because I know if somebody walks up, I'm not going to be worried about saying what I need to say. So because I don't care whether or not people are offended by me, people treat me with more respect and they don't do things like that to me anymore. So that's why it's easy for me not to care now because I understand how much power it gives you not to. You just speak your mind, do what you need to do, stay in flow, keep it moving. That's it. Hope that's helpful. I know worrying about other people's perception is a big thing because I used to, clearly. Again, another reminder, I do have that course coming up in April. If you guys haven't signed up yet for the notifications and also for the 50% off coupon code, you may want to do so, particularly if you're in a job right now that feels to be soul-sucking, or maybe you're dealing with a toxic boss, toxic coworkers, or maybe it's just not fulfilling. You know that there's something that's out there for you, you just don't know what it is. But you want to find a career that is passionate for you, something that you really enjoy doing, that you have fun doing, that's exciting to do, and that you make lots of money at the same time. I've been getting lots of questions that are kind of geared towards these frustrations with either finding work or dealing with the current work that people have. I know a lot of you guys are out there wanting to make careers for yourself that are actually fun and exciting. So I am working on this course right now. It's called The Golden Path. Again, if you're interested, make sure to go ahead and sign up for the notifications because I will be sending out a 50% off coupon code the first week that goes live. Ooh, what did I do? Yeah, if you're on Instagram, the link is in my link tree on my bio. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you should be able to find the link in the description. Happy Koala asks, how do you set intentions and trust and keep faith that it's coming? I gave my resignation notice and I trust my win will come in the divine time. Just ask and go back to getting into flow. Okay? That's it. Don't worry about trying to make it happen. The way that you let the universe know that you believe it's going to happen is kind of this don't care vibration. I set my intention, now I'm just going to go get in the flow and do what I want to do. Rather than I set my intention and now I'm going to worry about it. Is it coming? Should I journal about it more? Should I ask a few more times? If you just don't care, again, you stay in the flow, okay? When you guys are staying in the flow, you are naturally going to be guided to and attract things that put you on that path. That's what happens. You start getting ideas. Somebody was asking me about how I made the transition from teaching to this. I was just so in the flow, the idea thunderbolted into my mind one day, and that was it. But I was in the flow, and I wouldn't have been in the flow if I was caring in the moment. Okay, so it's not about forcing yourself to trust. It's about asking for the things that you want and then just staying on the path. And the path is your flow. If you have the discipline to stay in the flow and not care, things are always going to work out for you. Don't try and make yourself believe X, Y, or Z. Okay? Stay on your path. Stay in the flow. That, again, that's a wildly optimistic vibration that says, I know things are going to work out if I just keep doing what I need to do. And if that's the vibration you have, then everything that you want is going to show up for you. Okay? Good question. All right, guys. Quick reminder. I do plan on being here again on Sunday. We'll see. I haven't skipped one in a few lives, so let's see if I stay on schedule and make it for Sunday. So I do plan on being here on Sunday, and it will be the same time as before. So about 11:30 my time, a.m., whatever time that corresponds to for yours. And yeah, aside from that, if you haven't yet, please make sure to go ahead and like the video. That always helps me out, and it's free. It's a free way to donate to the channel and help me out, so I do appreciate it. Make sure if you haven't yet, I do have a manifesting test that you can take if you haven't checked that out yet. It's free, it's 5 minutes, and it will show you that you are the creator of your reality because it's going to enable you to put something out and watch it come back. So if you want to prove to yourself that you are the creator of your reality, please make sure to go ahead and take that test. That test is at manifestingtest.com. Again, that's manifestingtest.com. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, the link for that one should be in the description. I'm sure Mary's going to drop it in there in a moment. If you're on Instagram, again, all of my links can always be found on the link tree in my bio. All right, but that's going to go ahead and do it for today's live. Thanks again for coming along with me. I do appreciate it. And of course,